What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to iStuff Gaming, and today I'm going to be bringing you the character guide for GUAN YU. Now, before we get into the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you like to keep up with any future content. I'll be leaving the link to my Twitch and my Discord in the description below. Now, the reason why I wanted to do a guide on GUAN YU, I'm not gonna lie, I got beat up by one a couple days ago, but hear me out. I think this character is absolutely ridiculous now. After playing with him for a little bit, testing him with some of the new items, seeing how he does in the support lane, even how he can flex in the jungle, how he's a lot better for the solo lane role as well. Granted, he's not top 5. This character does so much for the team and can provide a lot of damage, a lot of protection shreds, is really tanky, an amazing team fighting ult, and we're going to be going over all that and how to build him. But let's go ahead and go over his best build first. Alright, so GUAN YU is 100% ability based, even though he does have cleave on the last hit of his autos, or the second to last hit of his autos. You're going to really be using his abilities to clear, so he actually does need some cooldowns. The best way to build this character is as a bruiser, mostly tanky, since this character does get a lot of damage. There is a jungler's build which we'll go over later, but for now we're just going to go over how to build him as laner or even as a support. So, first things first, this is an amazing item on him, Caduceus Shield. Don't know what Caduceus Shield does. It basically increases the healing that you deal or your team deals. Right? Essentially, it's like the physical version of Rod of Asclepius, but it gives protections, power, and a little bit of health. This does increase the healing does increase by an additional 15% if you have taken damage or have dealt damage within 5 seconds. So this card is very, very strong, since it's also a hybrid item. Sledge, obviously, every warrior kind of needs Sledge. If you're going to be diving backlines and you want that bruise shield, this is an amazing item for him. Now, from here, it's kind of up to you of how you want to go. If you want to go more ability-based but bruiser-like, Glad Shield is a very strong card right now. It makes you deal more damage depending on your protections. So this is actually a really strong item on him. Another item that you're going to want to build on solo laners is this Spear Rope, especially on GUAN YU. If you're hit by any type of CC, you actually become tankier. You can run Mantle of Discord. That right there will give you 30%, I believe. Right, 30% cooldowns. This is exactly where you kind of want to be. Another good item that you want to put on GUAN YU, you want to throw on a pre-win. This makes it to where you get that big health shield after your ultimate is done casting, make it to where you can't get instant nukes. But if you don't want to run that and you want to run something with a little bit more damage instead of pre-win, you can build Erendite. Erendite is very strong in this character simply because, which we'll go over later, how his ultimate works. It will deal a significant amount of damage even if you do build full tank. Other good hybrid items you want to put on is like a Runic Shield and on Sile. You could throw on like an Oni Hunter's Garb or a Genji's Guard for the cooldowns that they're really magic heavy. Another good item. If you do run them in the support lane, you can get a Gauntlet of Thieves. I would recommend getting a Gauntlet of Thieves as a support anyway, since it gives that aura and all those extra protections. But you don't really need it on a GUAN YU support. You would rather be running stuff that'll make you like bruiser like, so you're still going to be building more like a solo lane. So, with that being said, we're going to go over how to build him as a jungler. So, you're going to want cooldowns and anti-heal and all that good jazz depending on what you're going up against. But most of the time, you're going to be starting Pen. So, either go Yutton's Wrath or Brawler's Beatstick. You don't really need Crusher. Now, Crusher is a really good item on him, but there are better items to throw on him as a jungler. And even as a jungler, you're still going to be running a little bit of a tank, items. So you're probably going to be getting Sledge. You're probably going to be getting a Void Shield or a Glad Shield. You're definitely going to be getting like a Blood Forge for the amount of damage, and you're definitely going to want to get an Erendite with this. So your final build should look something like this. I would say Titan's Bane, because when you get all that 20% extra physical pen on your ability will make this ability hit really hard, or will make this ability hit really hard, and then your ultimate, if you engage an ultimate, will hit even harder. So now that you have an idea of how to build this character, let's actually go ahead and go over how his abilities work. So first things first, let's go ahead and start with this passive Painless. Now, essentially, basically what this does, every single time Guan Yu deals damage or he takes damage, he gets a stack. You can see how many stacks you have in the bottom, at the bottom left, with the mask there. So essentially, whenever that's at max stacks, all of his abilities get something extra. We're going to go over how each ability changes depending on it, but those stacks don't go away until he hasn't attacked or taken damage for at least 5 seconds. So that actually lasts a very long time, especially if you build him with cooldowns. So essentially, when you're playing Guan Yu, you never want to run out of stacks. So let's go ahead and go over his first ability, Conviction. Guan Yu's courageous leadership is infectious, and when focused, heals himself and his allies. I am sorry. Whenever he heals an ally god, all of his abilities cooldowns are reduced by 2 seconds. That is very, very strong. So keep that in mind playing this character. When he has full stacks of Painless, the amount of healing he gets, the amount of healing he deals and gets is boosted by 1.7 times the normal. So that's basically what it looks like. It's a really, really forgiving radius. And the cooldowns are fairly low. I do have CDR right now, but with only what, 20% CDR, it's on a 9-second cooldown. So that's this is a very strong healing ability that you can use a lot. Up next, we're going to be talking about Warrior's Will. Now, this is your main go-to damage ability. I'm going to explain why. Your third ability does do plenty of damage, but your second ability does a lot more for you in terms of damage and utility. So, essentially, he dashes forward. Whenever he dashes forward, he he slows them by 20% and deals 300 damage at max rank. If this ability is boosted by Painless, the slow is increased by an extra 40%. So, that slow is very, very nasty. Also, when hitting a god, this also lowers Guan Yu's cooldowns by 2 seconds. So you're seeing how these two work together. Do a dash and then pop your healing and then reduce all your cooldowns by 2. Right? Now, this ability does significantly more damage than his 3, and I'm going to explain why. How his 3 works is that for each hit that it does, he steals enemy protections. Right? And then he takes the protections for himself. If it's boosted by Painless, the protection stolen is increased by about 5 at max rank. Let me go ahead and show you what this move is. So that does do a lot of damage overall. The reason why this ability is not as reliable for damage as his second ability is because you can still get CC'd out of his 3. You can get stunned, mezzed, rooted, but you can't be knocked back. However, if you do get hit by all of that, you don't really get the math bonus for your third ability. So I would recommend leveling up your second ability beforehand, since this does significantly more damage and it's faster and it has that big ass slow. Now, finally, we're going to be talking about his ultimate. Now, this ultimate made me a believer in thinking that that Guan Yu was an amazing character, and that this character is not given enough love as he should. So essentially, cast his ult, and I believe it hits about 3 or 4 times. And then the first hit will do 205 damage, and then the damage increases by 20% per hit, right? And then the final hit stuns. So this ultimate can hit extremely hard. It's one of the hardest hitting ults in the game if you can hit every single hit. So let me go ahead and show you what it looks like. So as you can see, the ability, the ultimate did start doing more damage as I kept hitting the bot. So this is the reason why I would say run Erendite on him, because that'll make his ultimate hit significantly harder as well. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is how Guan Yu should be leveling his ability. Very, very simple. At level 1, you're going to want to get either your 3 or your 2. Most of the time you're going to be getting your 3 because your 3 will clear the wave a little bit faster at level 1, while also giving him more damage and protections while he's doing it. Plus, usually at level 1, most enemies are not going to be getting their interrupts for their very first ability. They're going to want to get their clear moves. Also, in a support setting, you can steal the protections of the other support, making it really easy to get that early game pressure going and damaging and pushing back the support and the carry. When you hit level 2, this is where it gets kind of tricky. If you're trying to fight more and you're not really too worried about your sustain, get your second ability. The second ability plus your third ability will do significant amount of damage. You can clear a lot faster, and you can potentially pressure the lane, pressure the enemy laner, right? However, if you're getting pressured back and you're really worried about your sustain, or you're worried about supporting your carry, then get your first ability, which is your heal, right? This does heal minions. Keep that in mind. And then obviously you're gonna want to get your whatever ability next at level. Now, if you watched my previous videos, you know that some characters I don't level their ult first. After level 5, this character definitely level the ult. Now, as you're leveling, what you level depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to clear more, go for your third ability, right? Again, it's matchup dependent. If they don't really have an interrupt and you just want to focus on clear, level up your third ability. However, if they're leveling their, if you're more worried about killing, then level up your second ability. Me personally, I like leveling up the second ability because most people are going to try to interrupt your third ability. So what you would do is that you would hit the enemy laner with your third ability, wait for them to interrupt. By that point, the enemy minions should have grouped on you because of how the aggro works, and then you're going to use your second ability to instant clear the wave. So, after that, like I said, you're going to be wanting to level up your second ability as much as possible. Now, what you level afterwards is up to you again. If you're more worried about the sustain, get your level up your first ability over your third ability. If you're more worried about taking the protections and being a little bit tanky or being more aggressive, level up your third ability. And then obviously, as you're leveling, make sure to put a point into your. So the last thing we're going to talk about is how this character plays and their combo, his combos and things along those. So it's really simple. It's 3, 2, 1. Very simple, right? What you're going to want to do: engage with this ability, basically like a couple of times. Hit your 2, and just keep basic attacking. And when you feel like you need to heal, so on and so forth. Now, be sure to engage with your ultimate. Yes, you can kill confirm with your ultimate. This ultimate is used for engagement specifically, though. This sets up your team. It burns beads. It does a significant amount of damage. Even if they do beads it, they're gonna have to beat Aegis. This ultimate does way too much damage for you not to beat it. So, what you're gonna be doing after ultimate, you're gonna want to hit your 3, and then hit your 2, and then heal. And then heal when your allies get close to you. That way, these the cooldowns on these abilities get reduced. So this is what you're going to be looking. This is what it's going to look like. Boom. That's it. And this character does a significant amount of damage. This character does a lot of damage. And that's about it for this video. If you have any questions, concerns, or you would like to educate me on how this character works, please leave a comment in the description below. If you have any feedback, I'll also greatly appreciate those as well. If you'd like to keep up with any future content, again, just check out my Twitch and my Discord. And without further ado, I'll catch y'all later.